the WWE Raw show last night in front of no audience had a 0.76 rating, with Austin, The Undertaker, and Edge all appearing on the show. Hello to Michael Kennedy there. I did watch the Austin segment as well as the Undertaker segment. The Undertaker segment with AJ Styles, I'm really a fan of The Undertaker, and I've wrestled AJ Styles. I've wrestled Luke Gallows back when he was in Deep South Wrestling. But I'll be honest, I did not like the segment with The Undertaker. I'll be perfectly honest. Without the crowd there, it just doesn't seem realistic. And he's getting older, and it was a hokey segment to me. I wish that they would come up with like different stuff to do than to do matches in like an empty ring or an empty arena with like empty seats. I'd rather that they do like vignettes in different places and also like mix in maybe old footage. They did apparently show the whole men's Royal Rumble from this year on last night's Raw too. So that's a recent pay-per-view. But yeah, I just find it weird. Like, if there's no crowd there, why do we still have to do one of the things I find boring all the time about wrestling now is the predictable one guy stands in the ring, somebody's on the Titantron, back and forth, somebody comes out, there's some type of fight. It's broken up, we go to commercial. It'd be interesting if they could do other stuff like vignettes or stuff in other settings since there's no crowd there, rather than doing these performances without a crowd. It's not entertaining to me. The Austin thing, although I'm a fan of his, that was also very hokey. The segment they had him doing like a game show type of thing. And I've heard the name Byron Saxton, but he ended up giving a stunner to Byron Saxton, who I think is one of the announcers. The main thing I noticed from that segment is Austin, even being retired for like 20 years, does the stunner so much better than the clips I've seen of Kevin Owens doing it. So why they bring Austin back, have him do the stunner, and it looks so much better than when their current guy on the roster does it. To me, it just like reminds me of how bad their current roster is. Chris Jericho tweeted out about this, and I've actually had issues with this myself. The Tampa Marriott, which was the base hotel for WrestleCon, is not refunding people their hotel rooms, which is a bunch of bullshit since they're pretty much forced to cancel WrestleCon, and those were pretty expensive hotel rooms. So hopefully this gets sorted out. This whole thing with various cancellations I've had to do, this whole thing has cost me about $5,000, which isn't much compared to some people who are literally going to go bankrupt over this whole thing. So it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. It's going to affect people more than anything financially. There's new information about Benoit that I guess is going to come out in some upcoming documentaries that showed, I guess, and we'll find out more when this comes out, that he actually tortured his wife more so than was already out there. It was already out there that he was pretty sadistic with her, but more information is going to be released, I guess, in an upcoming documentary. And once again, for all you people that are going to say it wasn't Chris Benoit, it was Kevin Sullivan, you people are just truly idiots and just don't want to see that. So if anyone wants to be Facebook friends with me, I've got room now. Devon Hannibal Nicholson. Isban Arroyo says, will you travel to interview the next wrestler on my list? I'm actually working on, as long as they do not close the border between US and Canada, they have ended some flights. Like, for instance, I was still going to go to LA and Phoenix and various places on the West Coast up until yesterday when the airline actually canceled my flight, which means I'm not going to go to the West Coast anymore. But I actually still want to do more interviews. So as long as they don't close the border, I am currently in the process of lining some up for next week, which I'm not going to talk about yet. Some of them are very good ones, but I don't want to tell you guys and then suddenly they close the US to Canadian border and I can't get across and don't do them. But I am going to try to still conduct more interviews because, like, my main job, for instance, I work at a recreation center. It's closed now for 3 weeks, so I got no money coming in from that. So the only money I have coming in is from YouTube. So I really want to keep feeding it, especially since I'm off my job. And not only that, I think I've told you guys, I try and visit my grandmother every day. She has Alzheimer's and dementia, and this has been the hardest part for me so far. They've quarantined her retirement home, so I can't even visit my grandmother. So I just want to get the hell out of this city because it's bothering me. And at least if I'm traveling, maybe I could use gyms and hotels. I'm going to run out there again tonight and buy some workout equipment tomorrow. Walter Johnson asks, will there be any crowd for AEW? No, there will not. And there is, by the way, there's some bullshit story out there today that numerous people sent me that WWE is considering delaying WrestleMania and having it in June in Madison Square Garden. I don't believe that. That makes no sense. The whole reason I think they're doing it in front of no crowd at the Performance Center is because they've been promoting that date for WrestleMania for actually months now. And they've been promoting the matches. They don't want to delay it. They want it to happen. Whereas also for June, who's to know if things will be back to normal by June? Ring of Honor, by the way, has canceled all their events through the end of May. So lucky for those contracted wrestlers who get to sit at home and collect. What do I think of Jake Roberts and AEW? Darren Doyle asked. He's a great mind in the wrestling business. I personally got along very well with him. There's a full shoot interview of him on this channel. Met him a few times. He is all about himself, though, in all honesty, but like most wrestlers are. I got along with him. Dark Moon Warrior, can I interview Dixie Carter? If somebody can find me Dixie Carter's contact info, yes, I'll interview her. If I can get across the border next week, one of the places I'll go to is actually Tennessee. So if someone can find me Dixie Carter's contact information, I'll reach out to her. I do want to interview her. Ole Anderson, too. I have no idea how to contact him. Killa K. McClurkin says they'd really like to see me get a big run in AEW. The issue with me and AEW is I never had a previous relationship with any of the executives there. So I just don't see them bringing me in. And that's all good because I'm a reporter now anyways. Will I interview any more ex-heavyweight boxers? Mark Darkshadow says, yes. I'm a huge boxing fan. And one of the people, by the way, I'm not going to talk about this too much, but I do have one of the people I'm planning on interviewing, if I can make it across the border the next few weeks, is actually a heavyweight boxer who has had some wrestling connection as well. Walter Johnson, did they cancel any live events in March? All live events are canceled in March. Like Donald Trump said yesterday, I believe he didn't want any gatherings of more than 10 people. So WWE's even pushing it with their tapings, for instance. WrestleMania, there's going to be more than 10 people in the Performance Center. For all of their tapings, there's more than 10 people because they have production people. So they're already pushing it. Yes, C4P, yes. I'm not going to say the name, but I've actually been talking to him. So yeah. Have a good night, everybody. I'm going to run in a bit. I'm working on a compilation video right now about Sunny, and it's very funny. The reason why I've put out a lot of compilation videos lately is because of all this situation, interviews have been canceled. Yes, some older people with mostly pre-existing medical conditions have passed away as they pass away from various viruses all the time. A young, healthy person like me that had a very serious disease at one point, hepatitis C, that I defeated, I'm really not personally all that worried myself about something that's most people are recovering from, the vast majority. And I've not heard of any non-senior citizen death